Hi, friends. In our time together today, I really just want to encourage us. I've been thinking about some things with playing our whistles, and earlier today I was listening to Yo-Yo Ma describe some of his feelings about playing his cello, because I love listening to him play. And so I've titled our conversation today, Expression, Not Perfection, with the whistle. And I borrowed that phrase from what Yo-Yo Ma was talking about in the video. You know, if we've been together for a little while, you know that I was trained classically, and I don't know if my teacher gave me this idea, but somehow I was so focused on perfection, so focused on getting all the notes right, all the phrasings, the melody, that when I needed to learn to play jazz and big band, I had the hardest time learning to improvise because I would had music. The printed page had a death grip on me. So since then, which has probably been, 45 years, 50 years ago, learning that, 50 years ago, I've thought about that a lot. And I've really been drawn to people that express life when they play. So I wanted to flesh this out with just a couple of stories to share. So please bear with me, because I think this is important for us. During the 1980s, I was the minister of a chapel in northern Nottinghamshire in England. And it was a small church, and we had a few folks who played the piano. One of the ladies, I think she was in her early 40s, she'd play some, and she was good. But there was a young man who played, and he was trained up to like a master certificate level, and I loved it when he played. He was so good, but he was so perfect in his playing, and he practiced for perfection, that there was no like emotional feel to the flow of his playing. And I don't mean to say that he didn't understand what he was playing. He completely understood. He was passionate about it, but he was primarily passionate about the accuracy of the tune. And so you never felt like you could really get into a tune. It felt like we were a little constrained when he was playing. Now, another friend at one of the other local churches, all the churches were small enough that we did stuff together all the time. Another friend played the piano, and he and I, along with some other volunteers, led, there were a few youth groups that met together on Sunday evening, and he would play the piano. He was technically accurate, but boy, when he started playing, everybody was just drawn in by the life with which he played. And if he needed to stray off the printed page, and you could tell he had everything memorized, now and then we'd go and repeat something. We just had a good time. Different people would bring instruments. The kids would play. It was a blast. I loved it when he played, because he wasn't, the printed music didn't dominate. The life of the tune was what was important. And then he helped teach a young friend at church, a teenager, to play. And when he was old enough to, not old enough, but when he was good enough to play in public, man, he eclipsed the rest of them. He played with such heart and passion. It wasn't just all flourishy stuff. It was like you could just feel the music in his playing, and I just wanted him to play all the time. And it was a delight. Now but all three of these were technically good. We had a third lady at church, or I get them on 4 or 5 people now. She was an older woman. She loved to play. She knew she wasn't very good. She had never been trained well. She she didn't have any certifications, and she was adequate. If she was playing on a particular Sunday, she would spend the whole week trying to get ready. And when she played, you knew there would be mistakes. She's sorry while she was playing, but you loved to have her play because she was so in love with what she was doing. She was very expressive in her playing, even if she wasn't the most technically accurate musician. So playing accurately, playing well is good. You know, we've been talking about memorizing tunes. Am I worried about you being 100% nailing every tune we learn when you play it from memory? No. I mean, after all, most of these tunes have well over a dozen settings. So there's a lot of variation. There's a lot of room. And when you're playing it, I want you to feel it. I want you to be able to realize that you're focusing on the expression of whatever the story is, whatever the tune's about, more than technical accuracy. This commitment will help you in memorizing. This commitment will help you in playing. Think of the experiences you've had. Think of a time in Ireland, sitting in a pub, a bunch of local folks having a great time, sitting shoulder to shoulder, buying drinks for each other, telling stories. There's a little session going on over here in the corner, and it's just providing the background life of the room. Think of that when you're playing. Of course, I think we should play well. Of course, I want to work on our skills. All that is right. But if we're not throwing ourselves into the expression, then we're missing out. Yo-Yo Ma brings this such a rare combination of emotional expression that draws you in, combined with a high level of perfection. But he said in the conversation that he reached a point where he was focused on perfection primarily, and then he reached a point where he knew he needed to set that aside because perfection is not why you play music. Emotional expression is. He went on to say that music connects people to each other and it touches the soul. It touches your own soul as you play. That's what I want to do. That's what I want us to do as we play. Try and breathe life into your playing as you do it. Sure, work on learning tunes well. Work on playing them accurately. But above all, work on expressing them with joy and delight, or if it's a lament, express it with sorrow. Just feel the tune as you play it. Let the music touch your own soul as you're playing, and it will transform your playing, no matter how accurate you are. Just wanted to share that with us today, my friends. Until next time, this is Scott Shade. Happy, delightful, expressive whistling.